This Sunday, they're racing at Homestead, Miami for the Dixie Vodka 400. And happy birthday today to former UK football coach Fran Kersey. He turns 82. That's it for your Thursday. Visit wildcatlayer.com or join us on Facebook. I'm Eddie Owen.
The lobby at Pro Collision Body Shop may be closed, but they are working at full capacity as always for all your automotive repair needs. They will continue to provide top quality repair services, and they have taken all necessary steps to ensure employees and customers are protected. Call Jim King to schedule an estimate at 270-508-0853. When you arrive, they will come to you, take pictures, do the estimate without you ever getting out of your car. Jim King and all the Pro Collision family, working together, we will be stronger.
You've been listening to your WPKY News Edge. Find news 24 hours a day at WPKYOnline.com. Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
News. I'm Lillian Wu. President Trump heads this morning to Dallas, Texas, where he'll hold a roundtable with local law enforcement. This comes as lawmakers grapple with calls for police reform. That issue
front and center on Capitol Hill yesterday as George Floyd's brother made an emotional plea to make sure that his brother did not die in vain.
You have the opportunity here today to make your names mean something too.
Also on Capitol Hill yesterday, the sister of a federal protective officer who was shot and killed during a protest for George Floyd. Now, House Democrats have already put forward the Justice in Policing Act, which does not call for defunding police departments, but does include banning chokeholds and other reforms.
Fox's Kristen Fisher. And initial jobless claims in for last week, 1.5 million. That is in line with expectations. Dow futures down some 800 points. America's listening to Fox News.
W277CK Princeton. Time to take a look at community news here on 1580 103.3 WPKY. This morning's community news is brought to you by Community Medical Clinic.
Well, First Fredonia Baptist Church Clothing Room is going to reopen. Now, that's going to happen June 18th from 1 until 3 p.m. For more information, you can contact Carolyn Skis. The Fredonia Yard of the Month. Of course, the nominations for the month of June were officially over yesterday. The winner will be announced on the 15th of this month for June, and then you can start your nominations right back up again. Now, the yard must be in the city limits of Fredonia, and you need to contact Caitlin Conway through Messenger with your nomination. Of course, they're going to be announced on the 15th. Our area typically has got some really hot weather over the summer months, and of course, that's dangerous for a lot of the people that live in our community. WPKY has once again partnered with PAX, Pennyroyal Allied Community Services, to help make it easier for the elderly to stay cool in the hot summer months. Of course, PAX serves 9 surrounding counties of Caldwell, Christian, Crittenden, Hopkins, Livingston, Lyon, Muhlenberg, Todd, and Trigg. And we would like to thank Farmers Bank and Acreage Farm Supply in Fredonia and Eddyville for helping us out this year. Of course, Acreages, bless their hearts. Not only can you go in and find great deals on those fans and buy them right there, if you don't want to have to actually deliver them, just buy them there. They'll make sure that they get to PAX and to the people that need them the most. And that's from Acreage Farm Supply, both in Lyon and in Fredonia. They're in Eddyville, and I should have said, and Fredonia. Of course, if you got any questions, or if maybe you need to get signed up because you have a loved one that needs a little help this summer, 270-365-5097, or you can drop those fans off at the PAX office outside their door, or right here at the WPKY studios at 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. Had 89 voters in Fredonia yesterday. Good job, everybody. Tony Watson would like to thank everybody for coming out to the Lions Club there in Fredonia and for them hosting the voting event. Of course, voting today and Friday will be at the Caldwell County Courthouse in Princeton, 8:30 until 4, Saturday 8:30 to 4. Of course, 1,100 people have requested absentee ballots. And June 15th is the last day to request a paper absentee ballot on the portal at GoVoteKentucky.gov. Caldwellcountyathletics.com, that is. And, of course, your Caldwell Medical Associates offering free youth sports physicals yesterday and today. Today's the last day for that, from 4:30 to 6:30 at their internal medicine and pediatric clinic here in Princeton. Now, it's a great opportunity to get those athletes all prepared to compete this summer. Of course, the participants are going to need to make an appointment. They can't just show up. 270-365-1225. Remember this number, 365-1225. Other details that you're going to need to know in advance. Participants that will need to wear a mask. That's your kid, the little athlete. He's going to need to have a mask, or she's going to need to have a mask. Everyone will be temperature screened and ask a series of questions before they're allowed to enter the medical facility. Athletes will need to bring with them, make sure you print it out, bring it with you, the KHSAA Athletic Physical Exam form. Now, that's going to be able to be found at KHSAA website. Very easy to do. Parent or guardian is going to need to complete the first 2 pages of that form before they get there and send little Johnny in. Now, we request that parents to remain in the car during the visit to limit unnecessary traffic flow inside the clinic. And, of course, participants will receive that free T-shirt with bragging rights that says, I'm an athlete and I got my physical done. Let's see here. Officials with the Caldwell Medical Center have also announced drive-up coronavirus testing will run through the month of June on Mondays from 3 to 5. Mandy Smiley, infection preventionist, says because the response to testing has been so great, they're actually going to extend that through the month of June on Mondays. Let's see here. Mondays from 3 to 5 p.m. It's 110 South K Street in Princeton, downtown Princeton, that is. Of course, the test will be no cost to the patient. An appointment will be required. 270-365-0332. And, of course, today is the day for the Downtown Farmers Market in Caldwell County, downtown Princeton, that is. Of course, online market is open today from 4 to 6. Now, you can actually go online and pre-order anything that you would like to be able to pick up. That's the pre-order option is from Tuesday to Thursday at 5. So that's ccfm.locallygrown.net. Then, of course, you can pick up whatever items you pre-ordered on Thursdays and Saturdays when the market is open. And, of course, you're always welcome to peruse those markets by foot if you'd like, Thursday 4 to 6 and Saturday from 8 a.m. until noon. Caldwell County Extension Office would like to remind you, laugh and learn. Pete the Cat and the Lost Tooth and various learning activities, along with the Slow Cooker Challenge with ingredients for Santa Fe soup. And then, of course, the grab bag for the week is Paracord craft kits for the kids. Plated up with all those 30 recipes that are involved in that. That is all available for pickup at the Extension Office, and it's all absolutely free. And it's available right there on their front porch, okay? That Slow Cooker Challenge, you heard me right. That actually has some of the ingredients to the chicken Santa Fe soup. We just got through doing, I believe it was fajitas last week. Was that what it was? It was something, it was tacos or fajitas last week. Anyway, we had a lot of fun with that one. And then this week, of course, that Santa Fe soup, that's a really good one. Those paracord kits, they are saying 1 per child, please. And some of the other ones, 1 per family. You'll be able to figure that out when you get there, though, but they are absolutely free. Now, they are opening up for appointment only, okay? Caldwell County Extension Office is now open appointment only. To schedule that appointment, you can call the office 270-365-2787. Agents and staff can also be reached via email. You can do your soil and plant samples, and they can still actually be placed in the box outside the office as well, so don't forget about that. Now, tomorrow is the big day. This is the day that we've been talking about and praying about and begging about. It is King's Kitchen Day. Do not forget that, okay? Because we're going to start out at Food Giant. Now, that's going to start at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to be there until noon. We're going to be helping you find all of those items that are on the list that we need for King's Kitchen to be able to feed our kids this summer, okay? We've got at least a little over 100 kids that are needing help being fed for the month of July. Now, it only costs $36 to sponsor and to feed a child for the month of July. Make sure that if you can at all, I don't care if it's $2, that will help because we need to get all of these kids taken care of so that King's Kitchen can feed them this year. Now, what we're really appreciative of Food Giant this year, because what we're able to do is go out there starting at 10 o'clock, and not only are they going to make those purchases really easy for you by the entire list being there, I will go shopping for you if you would like me to. Just run by the store, look for the King's Kitchen display, okay? They've got a place that you can drop off the items if you can't make it to the donation drive. You purchase them, you drop them off, and they'll do the delivering for you. It's that easy. Let's see. We're going to kick it off at 10 o'clock, of course. And then, of course, we're going to move the party here to our WPKY studios from noon till 5. Mr. Bill Booth will be with me. Miss Beth Mann will be here. All of our family from WPKY will be here because we love this. This is something that's close to our heart, and you can bring by your monetary donations or your food donations. Again, we're talking about $3,600, and our kids are fed, period. And I see no reason why we cannot feed that a little over 100 kids for the month of July, because Caldwell County is always taking care of its own. I don't think this is going to be any different. Make sure that you come by. We do appreciate absolutely everybody who has lent a helping hand and who will again tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow, 10 a.m. at Food Giant right here in Princeton. That's until noon, and then we'll be right here at our WPKY studios starting at noon and then lasting until 5 or however long we need to be. Stick around. Mr. Todd Griffin is finally up next. He's got a house full on the Sideline report. That's coming up next. And, of course, if you've got anything on community calendar that you need me to add, just all you got to do is email it to us, WPKYonline@gmail.com.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Raider Auction Company.
And here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast for today. Gonna be a beautiful day. I don't think you could ask for any better. Blue skies and 82. Tonight, low 59. Tomorrow, sunshine and 85. Sunshine Saturday, Sunday. In fact, all the way through Wednesday. This week's highs pushing lower 80s. And then next week, we're going to be seeing 90 plus toward the end of the week. So enjoy those temps while we got them, huh? It is 70 at 827, 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
It's always been important to support the local business community, but it's more important now than ever. Our economy has taken a major hit, and now we must all step up to do our part to help with the recovery. I'm Beth Mann, President and CEO of the Edge Media Group. I want you to know that you are making a difference. When you choose to shop local, you're supporting the very business that has supported our schools, law enforcement, clubs, organizations, and yes, even our churches. Shopping with our local businesses provides jobs for you and your neighbors, and also provides crucial tax revenue that pays for many of the services that we enjoy every day. Every dollar you spend in your local community matters. I'm personally challenging you to make a concentrated effort to support local. Let's make this the greatest comeback of all time. I know we can.
During these uncertain times brought on by the novel coronavirus, the Law Office of Jeff Rousseau is diligently working to meet your legal needs, whether it's estate planning, a real estate transaction, the need for a power of attorney, will, or another legal matter. The Law Office of Jeff Rousseau is open and there to serve you via teleconference or by appointment. They strongly believe that Kentucky will get through this together.
Do you ever find yourself in need of a new beginning? I'm Stephanie Bowes, a board-certified life coach and Christian counselor. My counseling service is called Where New Beginnings Start, and that's exactly what I try to offer my clients, a new beginning. Locally established at 104 East Court Square in Princeton. Together, we can tackle problems like anger management, parenting, personal or marriage counseling, grief, addiction, recovery, and batterers intervention. For questions or to set up an appointment, please contact me at 270-625-8211 or via Facebook. Remember, we are never truly alone.
Out of an abundance of caution and in your best interest, public access to the Princeton Electric Plant Board office is restricted. Normal business operations will continue utilizing the drive-through window. Bill payments using online methods, bank drafts, and credit cards are encouraged, but checks and cash will continue to be accepted methods of payment. Utilizing the free online payment system from the comfort of your own home is both safer and more efficient for you. You will only need your account number, which is located on your bill, and a credit card or debit card to use this convenient feature. In an effort to help our community and assist our neighbors during this time of uncertainty, Princeton Electric Plant Board invites customers to call the office if they need additional time to pay their electric bill due to the loss of work. We appreciate our customers and look forward to working through this together.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. Thanks for joining us this morning. As always, a big show lined up today. Going to start with a pair of former Caldwell County coaches, Bradley Stallins and David Choate, in the studio with us. And first of all, Bradley, good morning. And
good morning.
Tell us a little bit about stepping down as baseball coach.
You know, I think it's been a couple of weeks or a week now, and it was, like I said in the interviews that you and I had, it was just kind of one of those decisions that, your family, you talk about and you kind of, you discuss, but you sit down and you pray and you really roll over things. And, it was just one of those deals where the timing was right. It's never going to be an easy decision. It just is never going to be. When you're a coach at heart, that decision is just never going to be easy. And it wasn't easy. And for so many reasons, it wasn't easy. But when you think about your family and you got 3 kids, little kids, they're not little anymore. We got one teenager, one preteen, and then one, 8-year-old. But when they're running wide open and doing their things and stuff, and it's just one of those things where you look and you assess, and and it was something that we knew going into the year that it may be a possibility. But I told my wife early on, if this is the direction I'm being led in, I do not want to let it out. I don't want these boys to know, because I don't want their season to be about me. It needed to be about them and the season that they could have, and it needed to be focused on them, because that's what it's about. So when all this coronavirus hit, it just kind of opened things up to step back and see what life was like without sports, period. Not just not being a coach, just sports, period, which all in all kind of sucked. But at the same time, it allowed you to reassess some things that were going on in your own personal life and how things were going down. And so, that's kind of about a week after that's when we kind of made my decision. But I knew then that I was not going to tell the boys. And, they had so much on their plate. The kids at school, their whole life was turned upside down. So the last thing they needed was their coach coming in and, stepping down. So I kind of talked to my wife and said, we'll do this after the graduation is over. These kids needed some stability. They needed to get through this. And what was going on, even graduation wasn't normal, which turned out to be a good thing. It was a great, you had a daughter that was in it, and I thought it was unbelievable what went on, and it was neat to see those kids come together and the whole community get behind them and graduate. That's kind of one of the reasons why it was hard to step down, just the community that we serve.
Absolutely.
So, but they needed some stability, and so we just kind of waited and held off until the school year was out.
And David, you had some time to kind of step back during the coronavirus thing too, without having all the softball responsibilities this spring.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a lot of time to be able to reflect on what all we had done as a family, as a team, and of course I have the 8-year-old. He's in need of a lot of attention right now, and he's enjoying me actually being at home at 4:30 or 5:30 and just swimming, or if we want to play basketball. He loves basketball, so he was a huge deciding factor, and I'm glad. I'd be lying if I said that I'm not going to miss it. I will miss it like crazy, and will do my best to make as many games as I can. Can't wait to see the kids on the field again.
Talking this morning with Former Tiger baseball coach Bradley Stallins, former Lady Tiger softball coach now David Choate. Misty Porter from Caldwell County Youth Incorporated will be joining us a little bit later on in the show this morning, so stay with us. Need to get to a break here on the Sideline Report. Back after this on WPKY.
Enter to win a recliner from Rooms for Less in the Dad's Day Dad's Way giveaway. Head over to WPKYonline.com and enter today to make Dad's Day the best one ever from Rooms for Less.
Let me ask you a question. What do you see when you look at your car? Do you just see taillights or your dog's tail wagging when you first brought them home? Do you see 4 tires or 2 tired kids in the back seat after their first day of school? Other insurance companies just see a car, but a State Farm agent sees what your car really means to you. So why not give it the protection it deserves? See State Farm agent Barkley Hudson in Princeton today.
It's a sure sign of summer if the chair gets up when you do. Hot days are coming, and some in our communities need help to stay cool. You can help when you support PACS, as they find those in need in 9 surrounding counties, and provide them with fans to stay cool. You can donate online at WPKYonline.com, or drop off your fan at Penny Royal Hospice in Hopkinsville, Ackridge Farm Supply in Eddyville and Fredonia, or at the WPKY studio. Help out by cooling our communities today.
Thank you to all of our sponsors: Peter Royal Hospice, Christian Care Communities, Ackridge Farm Supply, Farmers Bank, and Hancock's Neighborhood Market.
Get into shape and feel good at Trilogy Performance Sports. Trilogy offers a wide range of family-friendly classes as well as personal training, yoga, gymnastics, sports training, cardio, and weightlifting. Trilogy has something for everyone. Trilogy now offers an app with online workouts, live classes, nutrition tracking, and more. Search Trilogy Performance Sports in your app store. Use sign-up code 1824. For app info and more, follow them on Facebook.
This is Deb Domke with Payroll Vault, and I hope you'll join me in staging the greatest comeback of all time.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's here. The Loyal Listener Big Deal Store is online and waiting for you to shop and buy gift certificates to local businesses. Go to WPKYonline.com. Click on Loyal Listener Big Deals. Here you'll find dozens and dozens of gift certificates. Some you'll even be able to redeem from your smartphone. Shop and buy 24 hours a day and save a ton of money in the process. Save on oil changes, dining out, haircuts, car washes, and more. Our store never closes, but you better hurry. You never know how long each deal will last.
Back on the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us this morning. In the studio with us, Bradley Stallins and David Choate. Both have stepped down from their respective posts at Caldwell County baseball and softball. And guys, one thing I don't think a lot of people realize, and maybe you guys can talk to this a little bit, but when you're a head coach of whatever sport, it's a very time-consuming process.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it is, but you know, you kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm going to talk out both sides of my mouth a little bit here. You kind of know going into it, but you really don't know till you get in it. I don't know how to explain it. You know, I know a lot of jobs are probably like that, but you know it's going to be time consuming, but you don't realize how much it is until you do it. But at the same time, you know, a lot of things in life, you know, I think if you're called to something, you enjoy it a lot more. You know, and that's kind of how I felt about it. It wasn't all easy. You know, there were there were ups and downs, and there were hard, and sometimes it was by my own doings, you know, by mistakes that we've made as coaches, and that's part of it. You figure out how to get up and move on, and you know, if you talk to any coach long enough, and they're going to be honest with you, one of the first things they're going to tell you is you're going to make a mistake, and you're going to make several of them, and that happened in my career, and you know, but at the end, the joys outweigh those situations in my, you know, 2-to-1, and you know, it is tough and it is time consuming, and anybody that tells you it's not, either they've got the elixir figured out, or they've got somebody doing a lot of the stuff for them, and but it is very time consuming.
But David, I was going to say, you guys obviously enjoy it, or you wouldn't get into it.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to have a love for a sport to be able to, especially to be a high school coach. And I thought that there was not going to be anything to it. I'd coached travel ball for years, and you know, and I told people that asked me, are you crazy? You're getting into this, you know it's going to be every day. And I was like, man, when we practice our travel team, we practice for 3 or 4 hours at a time. And, I mean, we'll give them breaks, and we just get right back after it. But it's a grueling season. And as Bradley said, it's kind of what you make of it, because if you want it to be done right, it takes a ton of time. If you don't care how it's done and how the kids respond to you, and yeah, you can go out there and halfway do it just like you can a regular job, and it doesn't matter then. You know, you haven't made an impact on anyone. So if you go out and you do it the right way, it's going to be time consuming, and I think that we did it that way. Both Coach Stallins and I, and he'll always be Coach Stallins. I mean, that's just the way that it is.
You know, and when you talk about that kind of thing, you know, you're talking about the practicing and stuff like that. You know, as I've went on and talked to several people and guys I've coached with and coached against, and, you know, that those relationships have been built. You know, when you go into it and you first start coaching, you think, well, the most important thing is how much of the game do I know? And, you know, that is important. But really, as I'm on the back end of the coaching career that I was fortunate enough to have, that's not really the case. The most important thing is, do you love those kids and do you want to see them progress, not just on the field but off the field? And when you do that, and you know along the way that there's going to be, you know, sometimes love isn't always just it's going to be okay. You know, sometimes
absolutely.
So it's different forms, and you know, but at the end of the day, when things are over, and you know, I had my coaches tell me this. You know, football coaches, you know, Gates and Tomic, and you know, Coach Curlin and all those guys, and you know, Coach Cummins and Coach McGowan, who's still coaching now. You know, I'm going to leave some people off, and you know, baseball coaches and basketball coaches that I've had throughout the years. You know, one of the things they always said was, when you graduate, you don't really graduate. You know, you're still part of the program that was built, and that's one of the neatest things when you're on the other side of being a coach. You know, when you've been in it for 18 years, those kids now that you first started coaching, they've married and they've got their own families, and when they come up to you with their little boys and their little girls or whatever, you know, and you laugh and cut up, and that's something special. That's something that that cannot be replaced. And you know, to me, that's just a pure joy to see those guys with their families, and you know, they were young men when we had them. They're really men now, you know, and you know, that's something that is just irreplaceable as far as I'm concerned. When you see them out in the community, or they come home and you know, you see them and you know, you laugh and cut up. That just cannot be replaced.
You know, and that was the tough part whenever we had to close this season down. Whenever we had the meeting with the kids, you know, they look to the coaches, and we rely on those kids as well. You know, we need that as a driving force for us, and you know, for them to look at you and not know what to do, that was the hard part about that. But absolutely, whenever I have to agree with Bradley on that, when they come back and they're showing you pictures of what they've been doing, or telling you how they're doing at college, and you know, and a couple of them have had kids since I've been coaching. Bradley's kind of telling his age, 18 years coaching. That's pretty good. But I just coached 6 years, and that was would have loved to have had more, but just didn't get involved soon enough.
Well, I wasn't even aware, I guess, that it was 18 years, Bradley, until you said that, and then of course, you know, run back and check the records real quick, and I was like, yeah, it has been 18 years, but I guess it's a good thing, though, that you know, the time's flown by, and the program's had a lot of success, and like I said, when you look back, you're like, wow, when did all this happen? Well, over 18 years.
You know, it has been, and I think we were laughing one day, it doesn't seem like 18 years, but at the same time, it seems like a lifetime, because I'm not sure I remember much before that, because you go straight from playing to coaching, so that's all you really know. But you know, it's been a good 18 years, and a lot of that has to do with the fact of the foundations that have been laid for all those years, and the programs that have been built here all those years, of those men and women that came before us and did so much to lay out just a community of care. I don't know any other way to say it than that. And you know, I'll say it, I guess, till the day I die, unless something drastic was to happen. And I said this to the boys today. I told them I was stepping down. You know, there's something special about this place, and I guess everybody can say that about the counties that they're from, and I hope that they can. But I don't know about their places. I know about this one,
Right.
and I've seen what people do, how they come together around people in need and care, and that's special. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect, and it's not going to be. But you know, together, I think we can come together and try to make it a little bit better. But it is a special place, and you know, the men and women that have came before that gave their time and effort. You know, when you're on this side of coaching and you look back, you're like, golly, when I was playing, that's how much they gave, and it builds. You know, because a lot of the guys that I played for, they had kids that were our age.
Absolutely.
You know, they were our age, and, you know, we kind of saw them as coaches, but we also saw them on the other side as they're the dad of such and such that was in our grade or right around our grade, and we ran around together.
We didn't think about the time then.
No.
We had no idea about the time.
No. And so that kind of makes it even, you know, more, I don't know, special, I guess. I don't know, but it just makes it stand out even more in your mind of what those guys and girls and women did, teachers and coaches and administrators and just community people that took time for you. You know, as a kid, it just makes it even more appreciative of those people. So.
Well, nothing was ever as fun, I guess, at the ballpark as when both teams would be playing, and you know, you're trying to run back and forth between both games and keep up with them, and the crowd support I always thought was really, really strong for both teams.
And then that's one thing I was going to say. It's part of, as a coach, it's part of giving back to this community that we live in. I mean, they have supported us. You can go out there and look at those fields, and you know that, you know, you see the signs, and those folks don't have to donate that money for those signs, and they do it just because that's the type of community we live in. And, you know, as being a coach is kind of like us, we have the opportunity to give back a little bit as being a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's the fun part of it, too. Is actually seeing some of those guys that have supported you come out and be at the game, and, you know, you always want to take time and go over and talk to them and, you know, just tell them that you appreciate them. And the community has been really good to us.
Because there are some people that will show up for ball games and really don't have a tie to the team other than that they just like watching the ball games.
Right.
And that's again, that goes back to this community because, you know, we'd go play places and they don't have that. You know, and I'm talking about some of your more prestigious programs that people think about when they think about winning programs in this area. You know, they don't have that.
No,
they just
don't
have that. A lot of it has to do with a lot of places aren't the only show in town like we are.
Right.
You know, they have different schools and that compete, and so, you know, that's their dynamic, but this is our dynamic, and it's kind of like, you know, I can't say the words, but it's kind of like Bear Bryant said that one time, you know, he's a SOB, but he's our SOB. Yeah. And, you know, that's kind of the way that this is around here. It's not perfect, but it's our not perfect, you know, and people get behind us and support us, and they support the things that go on, and, you know, they want to see the kids from here do good. They want to see them become successful, and, you know, hopefully that's the drive for everybody. You know, no matter who you are or where you come from, you want to see those kids do and fulfill their purpose. So, you know, and like I said, I know that people in other communities probably have that, but I know we have that here. And, you know, I can't speak for Coach Choate, but, you know, you go out there and there would be people, you know, and you play baseball and softball, and a lot of times, you know, we're not, by the nature of the we're not going to have the crowds that are at the basketball games or that are at football games, and that's okay. That's just the way it works. But the support that we had a lot of times came from different people at different times, and it was just unbelievable and unique to see. And everybody, you know, behind you and wanting to see you do good and wanting to see the kids progress. It was just, truly was a joy of one of the joys of my lifetime.
Well, and having some success also kind of builds on that. And when you look back at Tiger baseball, you can go back 60 years. There aren't very many losing seasons in that 60-year run. And especially the last few years, I mean, you had the district championship run in the 7th district, and I don't think anybody ever predicted that when you moved over there with Madisonville, North Hopkins, and Hopkins County Central, and then went in back-to-back regional championships when the school had only won one of those in its history. And those things are just tough to come by.
They are. And, you and I have talked about this several times, and we've talked about it on here. And, David and I have talked about this, when we were practicing, at the Butler or out at the field and stuff. When you take this, baseball and you didn't have to throw basketball. I guess really anything but football. When it's not classified and you play a sport that is not classified and you coach that sport that isn't classified, you're going to have to compete against teams that literally have 2,000 or more kids in or close to their school, because you got your Hendersons, you got your, Christian counties and Hoptowns. They don't have 2,000, but they're way more than we are. But Henderson does. And so that going into it. So, Lord, they have more boys in their school than we have total kids.
Absolutely.
So the same thing with girls. If you're coaching a girls sport, they're going to have more girls in that sport than we have. So that going into it, and that hill is high.
Right.
That's a daunting hill to climb.
You have to go in with a chip on your shoulder.
Right. And so when you
with
do
something
that,
to prove. I mean, that's one of the reasons that we put the time in that we always did. Because there was something that we wanted to prove. We wanted our kids to prove. It wasn't necessarily for us, but that's why we pushed the kids the way that we did. Bradley and I have been in that gym for 6 years, and that's monotonous. It's awful. But you just have to, you had to push on through it, because you wanted to make a statement. You wanted those kids to get better, and I can say that our kids did. Both programs, and they continue to get better.
And when you do that, I don't think there's different approaches to this, but one of the things was we never really set out. I mean, we said it, but you never really set out to win a state championship, although that's your ultimate goal. But when you're dealing with teenage kids, when we were coaching, our goal always was to be, and if there's kids out there listening to this, they're going to laugh. They can quote me scripture and verse of what I'm getting ready to say because they heard it so many times. But your goal needs to be, are you better walking out those doors than when you were when you came in? If you can say yes to that on a daily basis, then you got better. If you got better, your team got better.
Absolutely.
And so that was kind of our goal. And there was going to be days where that didn't happen. So how do you drop back, assess, and make it better the next day? That was kind of our goal. And over the time, it just kind of fell into place. But it really, and I don't know how to say this, and I'm not trying to sound self-defecating or I'm not trying to be that kind of person. But it's so much more than a head coach. We just happen to be the person that tries to organize it all. But there's so many people from your assistant coaches that give of their time, and Lord have mercy, they get paid peanuts. I mean, peanuts. They're not getting anything, but they give of their time and their effort because they love these kids.
Right.
Kids that a lot of times, and the coaches that I've had coach for me, a lot of them, not all of them, some of them had kids that were on the team that came up through the system, but they're not doing it for their own gain. They're doing it because either they played here and it's the program that they love, or they just want to see, they appreciate the game and they know what it did for them and made them a better person. They want to do it. So they're not getting paid. It's not because they are getting paid. It's not because they're making a lot of money. It's because they love what they're doing and they love to see the kids progress. And so it's not the head coach. It's everybody that's involved that comes together truly as a team that sees that progress happen.
Right. Well, we had 3 volunteers on our staff this year, and if it had not been for those 3, even though it was such a limited season, Chad and I would not have been able to do it. I mean, there's just no way. These volunteers, they step in, and Robbie, he had a daughter that come on this year, but he was there last year, and we did split squad practices last year, and Robbie would be there for the time that I was there, and then he would be there for the time that Chad was there. So there's sometimes he was spending 5 or 6 hours at the field every single day as a volunteer without a kid there. And Dave and Cindy Franklin, they've taken care of the pitching for years now, and they were both doing it again this year. So, and with nobody there, they just love it. So.
Need to get to another break here on the Sideline Report. Back with more after this on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Need cash fast? ABC Finance is open with social distancing implementations in place. They believe it's more important now than ever to get a handle on your finances.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morse at the Hopkinsville location.
At ABC Finance, we don't just provide loans, but we also provide valuable advice to help you get your credit in better standing.
Our friendly team of professionals has your best interest in mind. We celebrate with you when your finances improve.
We encourage you to like our Facebook page, ABC Finance Company. Many of those useful tips are posted daily on our page, including tons of community info and motivation for the day.
To view social distancing guidelines and safety measures, like and follow ABC Finance Company on Facebook. ABC Finance is located off Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville next to O'Charlie's, then Princeton and the Princeton Plaza. Apply for loans online or simply give them a call. They'll take your application over the phone. ABC Finance, all loans subject to normal credit approval.
The Body Shop at Trice Hughes is open for business and will assist you in getting your vehicle back on the road. Trice knows your vehicle is one of the most important things you own. It's important it's fixed right and as quickly as possible. Call for an appointment or free estimate at 270-365-5522.
Trice Hughes is here for you and any questions you may have about your vehicle. Buy your next vehicle from the home team. Find them on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or at tricehughes.com.
Penny Rile Electric members, we know times have been tough. And if you or someone you know is struggling to afford your energy bills, there may be help available to you through the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. LIHEAP for short, may be able to help pay your home energy costs through a direct payment to Penny Rile Electric. Visit EnergyRight.com and click on LIHEAP Energy Bill Assistance to find contact information and household income guidelines. Deadline to enroll is June 30th. That's EnergyRight.com.
The Sideline Report continues here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Got Bradley Stallins and David Choate in the studio with us this morning. And if you missed the news, both have stepped down from their respective posts as baseball and softball coaches here at Caldwell County. So that'll make for an interesting dynamic next year for two new coaches on the diamond. But I have to admit, guys, I hate it when somebody steps down because I have to break in new coaches. And, I kind of get used to the coaches that are there. And, you guys have been great to me, and I appreciate it. But I guess we'll have to work on somebody new for next season.
Oh, with what you said, thanks to us, but we need to thank you. You put in a lot of time, and you're not a coach. And, you're constantly at the park and doing everything. You're there almost as much as we are, especially whenever the season gets started. So
I just appreciate that I never got kicked out of anybody's dugout. I know I was in the way a few times, but nobody ever said so.
Lord have mercy. I guess we could spend all day on a radio show or fill a book up with memories and stuff. But, I think David kind of hit the nail on the head. The stuff that you've done over the 18 years, first with the Time Leader when it was local, and it was phenomenal, and now with your Sports Edge and WPKY, just over the years of the it goes back again to the community thing. Not every small community has this, and matter of fact, most of them don't. When you talk to other coaches, even in big towns, they don't get coverage like our kids get covered. I don't care where you go; they just simply don't get the coverage. And it helps our programs, but it also helps these kids get out there and get noticed. And used to, they'd pick up the paper and look see if their picture was in the paper, when you were doing that, or they would listen to the shows and stuff. And there's just, I don't know how many more times you'll have me on the show now that I'm not, but I would be remiss if I didn't get, by the time I got off here, and thank a lot of people. But there's going to be so many people that you leave off because so many people have been so instrumental in these 18 years. And I'm going to try to do it without getting emotional, but, you start with your coaching staff, and, Dono, he's been there from the beginning. And actually he was there the year before I got there with Jimmy Dyer, and, we were just talking. Lord, when he and I first started coaching, there were days he worked out at Fontaine. He would go in at 3 in the morning, get off at noon, 1 o'clock. He would come out to the ballpark, have it ready, coach, go to bed at, sometimes midnight, get up and do it all over again. And you talking about people that are selfless in this, and he did this for 18 years. Not always doing that. He's getting old now, so I don't know if you're listening. I guess you're about to get your senior citizens card. But, no, and, just so many more coaches that have been there, Randy Jackson and Joey and, now you got Jake and Josh and, the young kids that were coming back. And I was excited to finally see some young kids because, Dono and I were laughing one day, we're not getting any younger. We need some energy in this dugout. And, it was so neat to see those young kids come on, and man, they just took the bull by the horns. And I was excited to see what was going to happen this year with our kids, but I was also excited to see, those two and what they were going to do, from a coaching standpoint, because they just got in there and just went at work, and that was neat to see. So there's just so many people to thank, with your coaching staff, with your own family. My goodness, the times that they sacrifice, when dad's gone or their husband's gone. And you can't, I think I said this in the letter that I wrote to the kids, there's nothing more important to a coach than a supportive spouse and family, and you can't do it without them. Then you go to your administration and, you think about, Dave Barnes and, and Miss Phelps and, even Mr. Boyd when he was the superintendent when we were there, those things are irreplaceable. And the love that you have for each other, the family that you become. And then the most important part to me is the players. My goodness. They are important, and they are the most important thing. So just thank you to everybody that was so instrumental in this. And it truly was a joy of my lifetime.
Well, the interesting thing to me, and you touched on it a little bit, when those past players come up to you guys, nobody ever says, hey, remember when we went 17 and 14 that season?
Absolutely.
It's always the experiences. It's not, nobody ever remembers what their record was.
And I'm not going to take up David's time, but Mr. Boyd, Coach Boyd, he told me this when I first started coaching. I said, you're crazy. I want to freaking win every game we play. And he said, Bradley, the most important thing is going to be those relationships you build, because when it's over, there's going to be some things they're going to remember. But when they get together, he said, think back when you and your buddies get together. What do you talk about? I said, we talk about the times that didn't. He said, exactly. And there's so, you just laugh and cut up, and half the stories you tell have nothing to do with the games you were playing. They were, in practice or when you were out eating somewhere. And, it's just those things that just stick out. So it's special. It's special.
It is, without a doubt. And Chad Renson and I, we've coached together for over 10 years. And we said whenever we first started coaching, since we've been able to reflect on it, we should have been taking notes. Because you could have wrote a book.
Absolutely.
And, man, people buy it like crazy because it is hilarious. The things, the ups and downs, everything that you go through. I remember one time Chad and I was coaching, and I'm hitting the infield, and he's working with the outfielders. I look out there, and he's got a kid doing cartwheels. So I stopped. I was like, waiting on you to do yours, Chad. He's like, no, I'm not doing any cartwheels. He said, she just wanted to show me that she could do a cartwheel. I said, well, that's good. Yeah. But I have to thank Chad and David and Cindy, everyone that's coached with me. It would have been impossible to do it without them. Of course, my family, like Bradley said, they give up so much. I mean, I have to thank my neighbors. They went and mowed my yard for me several times, and be like, well, hadn't seen you in a few days and knew you didn't have time. So, but like we said early on, it goes back to this community. And, David Barnes took a chance on me several years ago and called me in his office, and we talked for 2 hours. I didn't even realize I was in a job interview at the time. And he called the next day. He said, hey, why don't you come and help us coach some? I think the world of him and his family. And I appreciate Farmer and Miss Phelps. They've run a lot of interference for me because I didn't know any of this stuff. They took great care of us.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming in and being generous with your time this morning. And, again, thanks for all the help. And I hate to see you guys go, but best of luck with everything you're looking to do.
Thank you, Todd. And, it's one of those things, I also said, I'm stepping away from coaching, but, it's still part of who you are, and it's still part of this community. And, I'm going to be close with those boys, but because they'll always be part of me and part of my family. My family grew up. Lord, my little girl, in 16, when we won that, I think she was 3 or 4. I don't remember, 4 maybe. She could tell you the lineup and their numbers.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that's special. And
right.
So they're always going to be part of who you are. And I know David feels the same way. But also, since he's sitting here, I want to thank him and the other softball coaches. We have to share a lot because of the stuff that we have, and it was great working with him and the other coaches that came before him, because we always had a working relationship, and it developed into a friendship over time, and that's something special. And to everybody out there and the school system in general, there's a lot that we have to do, and it's just been very special to work with those people over the years. So stepping down from coaching but not walking away from everything,
right.
And it'll be somebody else. And I told the boys that I said, Lord, it'd probably even be better. They'll probably be better. I mean, it's
right.
just, so hopefully it is something, that's one of the, hopefully whoever they get does better than you do. And that's my sincere hope, that whoever comes in is better than I, and that's not going to be hard, but it's better. It takes it further than I could take it. So
yeah, I have to agree with Bradley on what he's saying there. I mean, we have all worked together well, and you forget about the bus coordinators. It goes all the way through the school system. Everybody worked so well together, and Bradley welcomed me right in, and there was definitely a lot of questions, because like he said, we were sharing everything. We're sharing a tunnel that we store all of our gear in, and then we also hit in there. So I mean, there'd be a lot of times Bradley'd still he'd have his kids in there hitting, and I've got to come in and get some stuff, because we're going to get started on the gym floor. And there was always respect and from all of the coaches. So I appreciate that.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY, Princeton, Kentucky. Last thing I'd say to you guys is coaches never stop coaching, so you guys will be coaching somewhere, some point. So, again, best of luck, and appreciate you guys coming in today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
David Choate and Bradley Stallins. Again, Caldwell County looking for new coaches. We're going to get Misty Porter in here to talk about Caldwell County Youth Incorporated just a little bit as we continue on the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. And again, going to be a little different, needing new baseball and softball coaches next year, but we'll see how that goes. And again, thanks to Bradley Stallins and David Choate for stopping by on the show today and giving us their thoughts. And joined now by Misty Porter from Caldwell County Youth Incorporated as we make the transition here on the show. And Misty, it looks like we're about ready to go for Youth Incorporated baseball and softball and t-ball.
Yes, excited. We finally got our numbers. We've already, finally quit taking registrations, but we've got with Lyon County, Crittenden, Dawson's not going to be able to play. They don't have enough. But then Trigg and our new county is Webster. And we have worked very hard trying to get everything squared away with the COVID issues. But we have worked very diligently and try to make it a safe but a positive environment for the kids and for the parents. And we're going to be able to play, and they start practice next week. So we're excited about that, and they're picking teams. They started Monday night, and we're kind of spreading it out because we still have some parents that's decided they needed refunds for many different reasons. It's not just the COVID, situation. People need vacations, and school, starts in August. So it's going to lead. Our games start July the 6th. Up to the middle of August. So that has some things to do with it as well. But we're excited, and I know the kids are going to be. So I'm just glad that they're getting to play. And
when we talk about the season starting, it's going to be a full season for each league.
It is. We decided as a league, what we can and cannot do. And with that being said, we're going by the state guidelines as best of our ability that we can. We also have our own little COVID guidelines for the league, but we are at a 6-week season, so we're going to get 10 to 12 games in, and then I actually have our tournament that we always had, so we're going to get to do all of it. So
So it'll be finishing up sometime in August then, which will be kind of unique.
Yes, it's going to be a little different, and I know they'll go straight in from baseball into football for most of the boys, but, the parents are excited about it. We're excited about it. There's going to be a little bit of different changes out at the ballpark if you come out there to watch a game. There's going to be no bleachers, of course. We're going to stay with our social distancing the best, that we can. Try to disinfect the dugouts, and, we're going to have some chairs if the parents wants to put the kids outside. So we're doing this the best as we can, but as normal as possible.
Well, and that's something we've talked about before, that everybody has to be a little flexible this year because it's going to be a different season than what we've become accustomed to.
Oh, yes. It's just going to be a little different, and that's why we're asking the parents and the fans to kind of, be patient with us, be patient with the situation. Our umpires is few and far between this year because, some of them have to leave early for college purposes, and but we're going to do the best that we can. I'm just excited they're going to get to play. So
even though there were some parents that wanted refunds, and we kind of understand that, it seems like there were still a lot of people signed up, all things considered, for this late start and the whole coronavirus thing.
Oh, yes. We had more than what I expected. We have, from Caldwell County, each age group has got two teams, except for 8U baseball has got 4 teams, and then our 12U softballs only has 1. But at one time, we was looking at none at all. But everybody has got a team in the age division, so I'm just thankful for that. We had quite a few refunds there at the end, which started last Friday to Sunday. That kind of bombarded me. I kind of was shocked about that, but then again, I'm not with the situation. So, and I don't hold anybody, for wanting a refund. I don't blame them. They're kind of, like I said, so many situations between school and vacation and with the virus. They're uneasy about it, but you got to do what you got to do.
So parents should be contacted pretty quickly then about what team their child's going to be on.
Yes, if they haven't got it contacted already, you will, at least by Sunday afternoon, know for sure what team you're on and when you practice.
And that's baseball and softball. When is T-ball going to get going?
T-ball, we're trying to hash that out this week and at least know the teams they're on by next week so they can start practicing the week after. And then they will start their games the week after ours. So I think it's the 13th they start. So, but yeah, we have going to have several T-ball teams, which is exciting as well.
And back to baseball and softball, when will we get a schedule, and when will we know when everything's going to be ready to roll?
I'm hoping by probably the 1st of next week. We have Mr. Gary Goodacre, thank goodness, to help me with that, and I'm very appreciative that he will take the time to do that. He is going to hash out those little kinks and get the schedule ready for us. So hopefully he's got all the information. We just got a little bit of different things that we need to get straightened out. So as smart as he is and as quick as he is, I'm pretty sure we'll probably have it by next week. So.
What are some of the guidelines going to be as far as practices, and when can teams practice, and how many people can practice, and those things?
We're just, like I said before, we're going to try to do this as normal as possible. They start Monday with the practices, and basically with the numbers that we have, there's no more than 12 on a team. So we're going to be right in that area of one coach per, with 10 kids. So you'll have probably an assistant, so you can break that up real easy with 6, a piece. That will start next week. And another thing that we kind of talked about within the situation that we've got going on with COVID, we are going to do this as normal as possible. So we're still going to have our umpires, because we talked about 1 umpire per field. We're making that work with 2 per field. So with that being said, we're going to do this just like it was last year, but just with a little bit of differency and different little things. So.
Well, I know it's been kind of a headache for a lot of people in a lot of different ways, but especially you, your first year on the job here, trying to get this done, and appreciate everyone's effort and excited about playing some baseball and softball.
I am too, and I'm very thankful to be here and to be able, but with all the board members from Youth Incorporated, I don't know what I would have done without them, especially Dwight Meeks. I think I talk to him more sometimes than I talk to my kids right now. So, but we try to hash things out and try to make things work, and right now we're looking for a 10U softball coach. We need 2, and we're looking for another one with that. So that's one thing we're trying to do, and just different little things to get done to be able to get started next week. But I'm just thankful for all the help and, people putting in, what they think this should be done and shouldn't be done. So, we have to have a community involvement, and that's what takes that board for, to make, to be able to have the kids to be able to play this year. So.
Anything else you want to add as far as the season's upcoming, or anything the parents need to know for the upcoming season?
The only thing that's going to be different this year, they will see a COVID-19 waiver. And that basically states you would agree for your child to participate in this year's baseball and softball league. And, if something, heaven forbid, to happen, to your child as far as COVID related, you will have to sign that waiver. I mean, it's very explanatory. We did this as a league, and we've had several attorneys to look at it to make sure, we're good to go. We also had several county officials here in Caldwell County. We wanted everybody to be on board, and everybody was. And we've also to kind of, I guess you can say, to make things a little easier, you're not so stressed as a parent. We've talked to health officials about what we need to do exactly, like with the concession stand, with the bathrooms, period, just everything that we could think of. And we're good to go. We are good to go. We're going to have, like I said, you'll see a lot of signs out there like you do everywhere else, like at Walmart, just about the social distancing. But we're doing the best we can to get the kids to play, but I think they're going to have a safe environment wherever they go, which county that they're in. So
good deal. I'm just excited to actually get to get ready for baseball and softball, because for a while there I really wondered if we'd be able to pull that off.
Yeah, I was too. I was kind of scared with the numbers started going down. We had so many, but with the calls started coming in on Friday, and I was getting kind of worried, but then they tapered off, so it worked out. The only thing we did not get to have is 15 and under baseball and softball. We didn't have enough for that, but other counties didn't either, and that's normal. Sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. So with that being said, so I'm just glad we've got teams to play. We've got Webster in it this year. Their numbers have went down from when they started, but every county has. So that's just the dice we're rolling with the situation we have. So, but I'm really looking forward to it, and that's what I'm telling any parent. If you got questions, come seek me, any board member. We'll try to answer them the best that we can, and we'll just look forward to the kids coming out and being able to play ball this year.
We appreciate you coming in and giving us that update, and again, can't wait to see some baseball action and softball out at the ballpark.
Yes, I am too. I'm excited.
That's Misty Porter of Caldwell County Youth Incorporated. Also, thanks to Bradley Stallins and David Choate for joining us on the show today. That's going to wrap up the Sideline Report for this week. This is Todd Griffin. Thanks for listening here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Celebrating 70 years of community service. We're 1580 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Lillian Wu. The latest numbers in show another 1.5 million Americans filed for jobless help last week.
Just below the estimates and better than the 1.8 million that we got last week. So a tiny bit of good news. The estimate for continuing claims was 20 million. It actually came in at 20.9 million.
Fox's Cheryl Castoni. There's a sharp sell-off to start the day on Wall Street, partly on worries about a second wave of coronavirus cases.
As the U.S. hit 2 million cases of the coronavirus yesterday, according to Johns Hopkins, some 21 states are seeing infections on the rise, while others are down or leveling off. In Arizona, the number of COVID-19 patients has doubled since May, and health officials are worried, with Banner Health, a major hospital system, warning this month that hospitalizations are increasing and there's been a sharp incline of patients on ventilators.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. America's listening to Fox News.
From faulty breakers to broken windows to leaky pipes, roofs, and water heaters, homes and businesses around the country can't work until the pros do. That's why Lowe's created credit programs that work for pros. With everyday 5% savings on eligible purchases, plus through October 31st, 60 days promotional financing on your Lowe's business account or extended terms on eligible account receivables. Learn more in-store or online at lowesforpros.com. Putting money back in your pocket. Just one more reason Lowe's is the new home for pros. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only.
At Advance Auto Parts, we take the guesswork out of your oil change. Get 5 quarts of full synthetic Mobil 1, Valvoline, Castrol Edge, or Pennzoil Platinum with a qualifying premium oil filter for $33.99. Plus, for Father's Day, visit AdvanceAutoParts.com and share your favorite garage moments with Dad for a chance to win an ultimate home garage makeover or other great prizes. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
At Shelter Insurance, our agents are dedicated to helping provide personalized auto, home, and life protection